Good Monday morning. I am Michelle Yandel. It is bright and early on a Monday, and I just wanted to say good morning and talk to you a little bit about making your life a whole lot easier. So, first things first, I want you to think about how many different diets you know of. So, keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, what are some of the bigger diets that are out there today? What are some of the diets you know from the past? I remember the Atkins diet, Slim Fast was one. We've always had Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig. They've been around for centuries. Well, not centuries, but it feels like it. There are diets up the wazoo, okay? There's lots of diets out there, and I'm sure many of us have tried lots of those diets. The thing is, as I've said over and over and over again, is that yes, for most of us, they can work short term, okay? We may lose the weight or, start to feel better. But 97% of the time, they don't work long term. There's not a lot of research out there to show that any diet is sustainable for 10 plus, 25 plus years. Well, the data's not there because it often doesn't happen. And there's so many reasons why they don't work long term, and you probably get a bit tired of hearing me hammer on about it. But almost always it has to do with the restrictive nature of these diets. That's what often makes them not sustainable. You're giving up your favorite things, assumably, for the rest of your life. That's not very much fun. So, and in fact can cause us lots of anxiety as well, which isn't very nice. So my question is, as they say, why throw the baby out with the bathwater? We go often from like a potentially really, really crummy diet where we're eating potentially lots of food that just don't make us feel really great. And then we go, boom, right into a full-blown diet. We go like a complete whitewash. We're like, that's it. I'm throwing it all out of the cabinets. I'm getting rid of it all. I'm starting fresh. I'm starting the meal plans. That's it. It's all go. And a lot of people say they're like, that's how I work. I'm all or nothing. Well, the problem with all or nothing is simply that. It's all or it's nothing. So what would happen if we started slow? I know, not very sexy, not very cool, not very trendy, but what if these smaller changes actually gave you some of the results that you were looking for? If that's the case, why go hard? What if just adding in a ton of more veggies and fruit into your day made you start to feel better and you started to notice changes in your body composition, your energy levels, your health is improving? How would you even know that if you jumped straight into, say, keto? So maybe experimenting with smaller changes that are actually quite big might be all you need. But we'll never know that if we just jump straight to the opposite end of the spectrum, okay? What a waste of delicious food that would be if we jumped straight to keto when maybe these smaller changes, or maybe you can actually eat bread and still achieve the results that you want. What a waste that would have been. That would have been no fun at all. Cliff Harvey, a friend and colleague of mine, often talks about the stepwise approach. And he's Mr. Keto Guru, and I mean that respectfully. He knows his stuff when it comes to keto and low carb. And even he recommends a stepwise approach for most of us. He's saying start with eating more whole, natural foods. I talk about this a lot as well in my Empowered Eating course. Start with just getting more of the good stuff. Or maybe it's simply reducing the amount of sugar that you have in your diet. We're not talking about complete omission. We're talking about a significant reduction, okay? Those are pretty big things. If you can do those things and you start to have more energy, like I said, maybe your body composition changes, Maybe you just feel great. Maybe your blood work turns out better, whatever it may be that's showing that you are becoming healthier, then that's great. I mean, why keep going harder, right? So sometimes it's those smaller steps that can lead to the bigger and better results. And because they are simpler and gentler, they are going to be more sustainable too. So what if less was actually more? I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. Put your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think and whether you've tried smaller approaches, and tell me about that. Tell me about that experience. But this is a big part of empowered eating, is that we want less to have a bigger effect, as opposed to the bigger changes having very little effect long term at all. Thanks for watching and have a great week.